Are we? Is this good? Like, are we doing it? Okay. We're getting back into champ select. Pardon me for that. Let me get my champ select music back. No. I'm probably going to say that they're going to have the Gangplank and the Zac band coming back through. I'm not 100% on that, but we will see what happens there. All right, so the Zac band does come through. And we're down to 20 seconds. We'll see if they do go through again. If there's another disconnect, I might end up having to spectate another game. Hope that music's not too loud for everyone in the stream. All right, Caitlyn will come through for the second ban. I think that's just a straight-up marksman ban in general. Caitlyn does have a lot of power. Once you start approaching into the mid-late game, she's very good at sieging, very good at controlling zone. So this is one thing that you really don't want to deal with if you don't have a good amount of dive in your composition. Now, the next champion will be banned is going to be Rek'Sai. Rek'Sai has gotten a few nerfs just recently in HP and regen. But she still does have a really good presence around the map, and I think that's one of the things that a lot of players tend to forget is that she has global presence. She has very awkward ganking paths that tend to surprise a lot of laners if you're overextended or anything like that, and then she's just a really good tank in the late game. The final bans that are going to come through is Nidalee and Graves. Now, Nidalee has always been a really good jungling champion ever since her rework. She has really good clear. She has really strong counter jungling, and her ganks aren't too bad as long as your laners have CC. However, Graves is going to get taken off the table here. Now, Graves has started to come back to the light, I guess you would say, in competitive play. Really has seen a lot of play with some of the top junglers actually being banned out and people getting pushed down, and nobody's looking for the Gragas anymore really. Once the Rek'Sai is off the table, Graves seems to be the second, and I guess Lee Sin third. Those are probably interchangeable. All right, we're seeing a Moo first pick. We don't know if this is going to go into the jungle or to mid lane or even to the top lane. You might have some guy who thinks it's pretty funny for him to actually just go and play a Moo support, but this immediately tells us that they're looking for a team fight composition. You don't pick a Moo if you're not looking for a team fight composition. Honestly, that's literally the only reason you would pick him. Banish toss in, press R. Most of the team is CC'd, or at least those that you hit. They are hovering Lulu right now. I do know that Platinum Talent can play Lulu. However, I don't think it's his favorite champion. We got a Nunu and a Riven hover. Platinum Talent does play Riven. However, I think they will actually just... Are they going to take... Okay, they will take Skarner in the jungle. Skarner's been getting a lot of play in Worlds if you've been keeping up. He's got a lot of free defenses. He's very tanky without even having a tank item in general. Usually they started to go Warrior into Trinity Force. Some people like to go Cinderhult, but in order to have that damage on the Skarner, you probably need to go Warrior. Nami's going to get picked up as their first choice by Team 3. They're on the red side. Now, Nami came back to prominence in Worlds also, and I think she's a really good range support. She does everything well. She doesn't really excel at too much, and she does provide your team with CC, free engage, disengage, as well as a little bit of sustain and poke. So we're going to see how that actually works out when you have an Amumu on the other side looking to constantly engage on the other team. Syndra's going to get locked in. She's probably one of the most played mid laners right now in the Worlds. Now, she has a very good range stun. She has a very good amount of burst onto one target, especially after her Morellonomicon is finished. She should be able to 100 to 0 at least any squishy player on the map. Bard's going to get picked up here. Bard provides your team with a huge amount of engage just by pressing R, as long as you can hit your ultimates and you don't throw them from too far away. Now, after you get that engaged, you do have the CC from the Cosmic Binding that will go down. Personally, I love Bard. Bard is I believe, one of the best supports in the game, especially competitively, when you're playing around your team. He does have the ability to just roam and leave at any time and show up anywhere else on the map that he can. He also provides your team with a ridiculous amount of chase when fights are getting really like skirmishy and you start running through the jungle. Your magical journey can actually provide your team with a way to catch up and re-engage on a fight. So Karma's going to get picked up. This is most likely going to go into the mid lane, as this is already kind of throwing their team into like a kind of healy, tanky-esque shield comp. And Lucian's going to get picked up here. Lucian's really kind of the, I don't want to say tier 1, but like in between like tier 1, tier 2 AD carry. He doesn't really provide the utility, but he does have a very good amount of damage as an AD carry in the mid game, especially building that Youmuu's into cleaver. His damage is very, very good against squishy targets. Against tanks, it's okay. It's not really amazing. You tend to want to go towards that crit build, but most of the time people aren't going to do that on Lucian. However, if you don't have a lot of peel, Lucian is a very good champion who can provide his own just with his dashes in a team fight. Every 2-3 seconds with those double shots or the double taps, you will get another dash in and avoid whoever it is that's trying to run you down in the team fight. So the last 2 picks to come in are going to be Jace and Misfortune for Team 8. One of the things that we're going to see here, I mentioned as soon as you saw the Amumu, that you were going to look for a team fight composition. Now, I don't really agree with the Jace pick. I know he is a power pick currently, but if you're doing a team fight composition, Jace is probably not the greatest. He tends to be a very poke-heavy champion, unless they're looking to provide themselves with an option of split pushing as well. And one of the things is, if you're picking split pushing, you're not really going to be worried about team fighting as much. So, okay, so the Amumu will go into the jungle here. We haven't seen the Misfortune Amumu composition in a long time. That's the Curse of the Sad Bullet time. It used to be a really, really strong composition way back in the day, and now we're probably going to see more of it, seeing as how Misfortune's ultimate had been long since ago now, changed back to doing physical damage and scaling that way. It with the cleaver, the shred, the amount of shred from the cleaver, from having, if they build Dustblade of Drakthar or building a Youmuu's in general, actually destroys most squishy targets. So if a team fight happens and she doesn't get waved, hopefully, she'll probably be able to kill most of the people on this team just in its own. And finally, Renekton's going to come in for the top lane pick. I'm going to lower down this music now. So in the top lane here, we're going to have Renekton. Renekton does do fairly well against Jace as long as he can get in and do his damage before Jace switches to hammer form. Now, that's one of the things. Renekton can get poked down here in this lane. He does have pretty strong sustain overall, which would be just his Q. Whether it's in minions, on champions, obviously you get bonus sustain off of hitting champions. But I'm not really going to say either one of these champions will easily win their lane. And the issue with this is it really depends upon how you play the matchup. Based upon Renekton dashing in with Slice and Dice, Ruthless Predator, calling the Meek, and dashing back out. Or if you have Jace who's keeping his distance and sees the dash coming in, Renekton has full bar of Fury, chances are he's going to try and trade with you. If he gets to hammer form, he can get a good trade back in and smack him away before he gets to do much damage. So we're going to see if those trades happen as trying to predict in top lane. We're going to see who plays that skill matchup quite a bit better. The way that Team 8's going to win this game is obviously going to be team fighting. They're looking to just have a Amumu jump onto someone, have Syndra hit someone with a long stun, and have a Amumu jump onto them. The whole object of their team composition is to get Amumu into the team fight. If at any point during this game that Amumu decides that he's either going to die and panics and burns his Curse of the Sad Mummy, his ultimate, he's basically useless for the next team fight. So then that will be when Team 3 decides that, they're going to be fighting. They're going to be looking to take any engage they can, because now you don't have a Moo who's a huge cornerstone in this team composition that they've got running. They do have the Bard, which is really nice. Bard will actually provide you with a large amount of catch. So anytime you want to team fight the other composition, you can. You can just throw your Temper Fate, and if it decides to, if it lands on someone, you have to decide whether you want to fight or not. At that point, the other team will have to either back off or take the engage. So this is one of the reasons that I really like Bard. You force the other team to decide, do we want to lose one, or do we want to take a full-on engage here and see if we can save our teammate, whoever it may be. And if it ends up being someone squishy, chances are they're probably going to die before you even get to help them. Now, on the other side, they do have a fairly strong shielding composition, with the Skarner being able to shield himself, run in, get sped up by the Karma. Karma's going to do a good amount of damage. Some of it will be blocked by a tank. Hopefully, the Amumu will be able to get in front of some of that. Lucian will provide a good amount of cleanup damage. The Nami's going to give fairly good engage, as I said. And the Renekton is going to be a really strong split pusher later in the game. So we'll see how this goes. We'll see if the Renekton can actually bully out his lane early. And we'll also see how these teams will adapt to what the other team has drafted for their first pick of the boosted LANimals fall 2016 tournament. So we should be loading into the game in about 30 seconds here. We're going to see how this will start off, if they're going to take standard starts, if they're going to be looking for any type of invade to get ahead. This is the first game, as I said, and you're really just kind of thinking, do you want to start? You want to start off on a good note? Do you want to get ahead as quickly as possible? Do you want to really show your hand here? Because there's going to be other teams that you're going to have to play against. There's going to be other teams that will definitely be watching your games, looking to see what you're going to do, what picks you've been playing, things like that. So at the start of a tournament, you really don't want to try and show your entire hand. So I do kind of really like the fact that they're playing this kind of team fight composition, where if someone decides that they don't really care to be playing against the Moo and they ban it, you have something else to pick. I mean, there are some people out there that will just play a Moo, but they're few and far between. So we'll see what this team actually gets to do when they get onto the Rift. It looks like right now one of their players is not connecting, but I'm sure that will be resolved. They do have the option to pause in case he doesn't get into game, but I'm not seeing that as being a huge issue where anyone will be behind because of it. They'll just kind of wait for him to load, and that will be that. So we're going to see how these mid laners stack up. I am seeing a couple borders here. Now, you don't like to judge players just by their borders, because you know what? This could be a fresh account or anything like that. That's not too big of a deal. But we will see that the Karma has taken barrier, so she's looking to basically farm out, survive the lane against the Syndra. That's blatantly obvious via the having that shield there. Karma having double shields is probably going to be surprising if someone decides to dive her. However, I don't think you're going to be diving too much tower with the Amumu, considering that he doesn't provide too much damage early in the game. And most of the time, if you're going to dive tower, you're most likely going to dive it in bot lane, where you have a larger numbers advantage and more people or more champions to do damage against the enemy team. So it looks like Drummer Jack will be loading in here. He started to crank up. He's about 56%. I don't know what's happening with him. He might be running on a potato of some sort, but hopefully he gets into the game so we can get started with this. All right, so now we're all at 100% here. We'll see what type of game we're going to get. Oh, here we go. All right, I hear the music. Fantastic. I'm all excited. Are you guys excited? This is great. Come on. Come on. Where's my screen? Where's my screen? There we go. All right. So, first game is commencing. We've got Team 8 versus... Oh, I thought they were going to comment on something. We have Team 8 versus Team 3. Alright, we'll see if they get there straight up. What are they talking about? Good luck, have fun. You too. Oh, and some BM going out already at the start of the game. Okay, so apparently they're throwing insults back and forth. Bronze talent. I do know this guy. He does play like a bronze. So, you know what? Not much of an insult. It's more of a call it as I see it sort of thing. Alright, so it looks like they will just be putting up a nice little wall. No one wants to invade here. In top lane, they're not even anywhere remotely close to each other. So, we definitely know that they're not trying to do anything at the start of this. Some people rocking the UTSA mark there. Some people with the, I believe it's the kill yourself tag. I want to see what kind of pressure goes out in these lanes, considering that both Nami and Bard do have sustain. They do have a good amount of poke damage in lane. Bard's level 1 is very, very strong. Nami's is not bad, considering most of the time she'll start with W. And we will get standard leashes coming across for each jungler for them to get rolling. Amumu is going to jungle quite a bit slower than Skarner, but that shouldn't be a problem. He's going to be looking for his level 6, I'm sure. All right, so good amount of leash here. They're just hanging around. Nami, look at that. Good guy Nami. Good girl Nami, I guess. We're going to see who misses the first couple CS here in this game. Alright, Renekton did start with his Call the Meek, so that means he will be looking to just kind of sustain early. Not do too much. We'll see at level 2 if he tries to do anything at all. A little bit of poke going down in the bot lane. Nothing really to talk about, though. So, one thing to take note of right here is that how far back Nami is. She did take a little bit of poke from the Misfortune, so now she's actually worried about taking any more damage. And when you look at the placement of where the champions are, as a support, you should be at least about equal or just in front most of the time of your AD carry so that you can throw down damage. So, as suspected, Renekton taking a little bit of damage here. And he will actually be giving up first blood. The flash will be blown in top lane. That's what I was talking about with Renekton having full fury. He did not actually take his W, so he went in for a trade on the Jace, which doesn't make too much sense. Without his stun, he just sliced and diced in at level 2, hit a Q, and tried to get away. All it took was for Jace to switch to hammer form, smack him, jump on him, and put him down. However, Renekton will actually have a flash advantage here in the top lane as Skarner is making his way. Actually, Skarner is going to run into the Amumu, and I don't see this being too good for them. The Renekton's going to get onto the Jace. The Jace does not have flash. The Skarner will flash onto him for the auto attack, but the Syndra will come in with the stun, and she will scatter everyone and almost pick up. Will she pick up the double? No, she will not pick up the double. She will not be in range to finish that. So Syndra showing up to the party. It's another fight breaking out. Amumu will blow his flash. He is very, very low. Jace is recalling in the brush here. Amumu will continue to jungle. I think it is really risky. Oh, I do apologize. There was an engage in the bot lane here. I wish we did have a replay. There's a flash coming through for the Lucian. He will get the double tap. However, the minions. All right, he will pick that up without even having to die. I thought it was going to be very, very close. If he didn't have heal there, that would have actually been an issue. So it looks like the Bard and the MF will both go down. Syndra is on her way down to bot lane, but I don't think she's going to get to do anything. And Jace will start to engage here with his hammer slam. He will smack back the Renekton. The Renekton does have fury. He is kiting around for the cult. Oh, and he will go down to minions and a shock blast. So right now, this is starting to be not so great a lane for Renekton. That Syndra roam did actually put him back when I think he was going to pick up that kill on the Jace earlier in that small skirmish that they had. So as we saw, quickly going south. I think they're going to need their bot lane to carry this. the flash blown. They will get down the exhaust onto the Nami, who does not have flash up, and she will go down. So Amumu no flash, Bard has no flash, MF has no flash, Syndra. Nobody on that team, on Team 8, has a flash at all. So right now, the only person on Team 3 with a flash is our mid laner, Sailor Dawn. Amumu applying a good amount of pressure, I'd say, right now, honestly, for being Amumu and not having to actually gank until he's sick. And Syndra will grab that. We'll grab the Raptor. Amumu will go in with a bandage toss onto the Skarner. Skarner will get smited and slowed. He's getting chased down right now. Karma will come in with the shield and the... Okay, the tether is broken. Thought she would get the root, but she does not. Renekton's still getting bullied in top lane right now. He will dodge that Shock Blast and not get chunked out. That Shock Blast does hit for quite a bit. He will have a... Ooh, Cannon Minion missed. He will have a monstrous wave coming up, though. It's about 10 minions here or so. So he'll have a little bit of a chance to catch up if he can get them all. Gonna try and get these off the tower. Alright, he looks like he's last hitting decently. Missed one or two. He's gonna get poked down in the tower. Skarner's making his way towards top lane, but I do think this is a bad gank, honestly. Skarner coming in should not really be the factor of you as a Renekton at 300 HP engaging onto a Jace who's full. You're already looking at a deficit of at least one longsword. Tyr doesn't really do much here, but at least one longsword and levels. So I don't think you really want to try and push that right now. You need to wait for your Renekton to get his first back. I think he's probably going to end up either going for a Tiamat or a Cleaver at this point. So bot lane has quieted down. Misfortune is up about 8 CS. But it has been a very, very quiet lane at this point. Renekton will engage. The Skarner is here to back him up. He will get dropped down again. I don't think they knew the Amumu was there waiting. Very, very good counter gank, I guess. I think that was just more of a misinformation of them not knowing where he happened to be. Alright, so bot lane will get a trade in. Lucian will do a good amount of damage to the Misfortune. Nami did not land her bubble there. If she had, it could possibly have been a kill. I think Lucian and Nami just wait for level 6 and they possibly win this, because now Misfortune is level 6. We do have a attempt at a gank in mid lane. Chasing the Syndra into Fog of War is probably not the best thing for you to do, honestly. You might just want to stay away from that. So as of right now, the Amumu is outshining Skarner, which is very odd. They're both level 6 junglers. However, Skarner does have a little more pressure having that stun and his slow. I do understand Amumu does have a bandage toss, but it's far, far harder to land that than for Skarner to walk in and use his. So Skarner will pick up the second blue. It will help him to speed up his clear, stay ahead of the Amumu. Amumu will show around bot side. They do not know that he is there because there is no ward in that brush. Renekton just trying to stop the bleeding at top lane here. We have a 202 Jace in the top lane, and right now he's already picked up some early armor penetration. He's gonna land a couple auto attacks down. Nothing, no big deal. Skarner around bot side. Not going to land bandage toss. Not going to land cosmic binding. Oh, and I think the Bard will go down here. He actually, Amumu will flash in. Curse of the sad bullet time. The Lucian will survive with heal. They will start to drop down the Amumu. The Lucian will get out. Almost. It's so close with the culling. Skarner flashes in, but does not pick up the kill. Now, that was a little sloppy there. The engage by the Amumu was something. Okay, that was not a good flash. And the Renekton will die again. That was a very terrible flash. Very questionable flash. I don't know what was happening there. I'd assume that honestly, you could have played that better just by slicing, flashing, dicing, and getting the stun, rather than burning both and then flashing, because at that point you don't even have a safety precaution for you. And the Jace is already so far ahead. Right now, you're just basically feeding. If you're Renekton, you're not respecting the fact that your enemy laner is ahead of you, is 20 CS ahead of you, is probably, well, now 1 level ahead of you. And you're not respecting his damage. And he doesn't even, he only has is that little dirk. And you have those little long swords. So you need to stop doing what you're doing if you're Renekton. So right now, Team 8 is applying a lot of pressure on the map. Mumu is taking advantage of the fact that they do have that Bard in the bot lane. Bard does make it very, very easy for you to gank, especially if you're a champion that does not have a gap closer or needs to be really close to use any type of crowd control that they have. And that does help the Amumu to gank before he's 6. But since, as we saw, Mumu is 6 now, he should be going to each lane anytime he wants to gank. And as soon as his ultimate is up and burning it every single time. Syndra's going to sneak into this brush here. They did see the Skarner go by and get that Scuttle Crab, but I don't know if he knows. Bandage Toss will land. Will Scatter the Weak come in? Scatter the Weak will come in, but it will miss. Renekton is going to get his own fight on the other side. Karma will show up to try and save Skarner, but I do believe that Renekton will go down again here. He's going to get shot up by the Jace and will get dropped down for the 5th time in this game. Renekton, dead 5 times at 11.5 minutes. Stop doing what you're doing. Stop doing what you're doing. Take a breath. So, bot lane's going to actually just be taking out this Gromp here. Skarner is actually getting bullied pretty hard in this game. Every time he shows up, the Amumu actually has tabs on him, which is really nice. They're doing a great job of actually tracking the Skarner around the map. So I think Platinum Talent's going to have to think of another way here and start doing some like creative jungle pathing, because they're literally just catching him everywhere he goes. He went to get that Scuttle Crab. They were waiting for him. He went to he was heading top lane and they caught him. He went to gank top lane. Amumu was already in the brush. So whether it's by luck, by just chance, or they actually see him on a ward, which there aren't many on the map, he's not getting his job done right now. Other than that 1 Bard kill, nothing's really happening for their team. Team 3 needs to try and get this together and stop the bleeding. Because I mean, right now you don't have a top laner. Jace can do anything he wants in that lane. So if he decides to start split pushing, who do you have to stop him? You have nobody on the map to stop him. Karma's going to land a good amount of poke in that mid lane, but I don't think that's going to be enough. However, Culling will go down fully onto the Misfortune. Pretty good Tempered Fate coming in there. Will land, but the Amumu will pop his ultimate, and the bullet time will go across and wrap up almost 2. Jace will come in with the teleport. Will he get the Shock Blast off? The Shock Blast will miss the Lucian, and he will survive with about 200 HP. Bard's going to try and... Oh, okay. Bard is not going anywhere. Jace is going through the journey. He will not be able to do anything. He might try to get a little tricky Shock Blast off to the side, but I don't think that's going to happen. They're going to take this time now. Team 8's going to pick up this dragon. And yes, they will pick up a Cloud Dragon. That's going to give them a little bit of run speed, a little bit of easier engage when you're a Mumu, because all you kind of do is waddle at the enemy team, right? Just doop, 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 doop. Run at them. I mean, you're a Yordle, for God's sake. Renekton trying to get a little bit of damage on this tower here. When you're Renekton and you're in this situation, I guess you're trying to farm as much, help the team as much as possible when the enemy lane is not near you. Because right now, you can't even look at Jace. Don't even look at Jace. You shouldn't even be near Jace. If Jace is in the lane, you're not in that lane. So Lucian going up, he's got 2 kills here now, hasn't died yet, so his positioning has been pretty good in a lot of these fights. Even though he's been getting hit with CC, he has escaped and been able to manage the little bit of HP he's been getting out with, so props to him for that. Like I said, if there wasn't for that Tempered Fate coming through by the Bard, chances were they were probably going to clean up that fight pretty easily. Syndra just shoves in the Karma. She's going to clear out this vision on the side here. Now, if we take a look at the map, you're going to see that there are almost no wards on this map. Almost no wards. You've got 1 pink, 2 pinks, and then it looks like 2 wards in that bot brush. What do you got? Do we have 1 in the pixel brush, I think? So you've got 3 wards on the map that... okay, sorry. 2 wards that are in effective locations, and then like 2 pinks that are in other locations. So 4 wards technically total on the map. By blue side, team 8, you've got 1 pink ward, 2 pink wards, and the ward just died in top lane. So there are 2 wards on the map, 3 wards because Syndra just placed 1. We need to be working on our vision. Vision's a huge part of the game, and it's going to be more and more dangerous with the amount of CC that's coming in from either of the teams for people to be face checking right now. If Karma gets hit by Scatter of the Week, oh, yeah, if Karma got hit by Scatter of the Week there, I think that Syndra would have definitely tried to take her out. Skarner does not have a gank here. Jace will blow Flash. I think he was afraid of the Ruthless Predator coming through and landing that stun into the Skarner CC. Bullet time's going to come through. There will be a Nami wave, and a bubble will miss, so I think that's the end of that engage. So Renekton's got his Ninja Tabi now. He's got a little bit of armor against Jace's damage. No big deal, honestly. I think he's just trying to, like I said, survive and live. Skarner's spending a lot of time in that top lane now. This is one of those cases where you really can't help. You really can't help this lane unless like this happens. Yeah. So Renekton resetting his gold. As I'm saying, you really can't help this lane until, and then he comes in and kills him. Until the champion just completely overextends into the tower, basically. That was really, really easy. Knowing that the Skarner was there, you probably shouldn't have been up that far. Because essentially you're trying to lock down the Jace from doing any type of damage. Not a big deal. The shutdown will come through for the Renekton, though. That will give him some much needed gold to try and get back into this game, and a little bit of gold to his team as well. Tempered Fate will come through and lock down the Amumu CC. I don't think that was a needed ultimate, honestly, but you know, they still got the kill, so no big deal. The Amumu probably just been able to secure that without having any type of issues. Skarner's going to come over here to try and actually stop this turret push. Now, you've got a 2v3 here. You do have ultimates available for everyone but Bard in that bot lane. If they decided to actually go on to them, I think they could possibly win this fight. Especially if there's a dive going to be happening. And that will be a kill into mid lane. As soon as you walked up, you got hit by the stun. It was basically over for you. So, the Bard's there to try and help the Amumu. The Skarner's going to go in super hard onto him. All this for a Gromp, guys. All this for a Gromp. Amumu going to land his ultimate. And Bullet Time's going to come through and take down both Skarner and Nami. The Flash will come through for the Lucian. And I think that will be the end of that engage. These are the kind of fights you don't want to be taking, guys. Honestly. If you have an Amumu standing there and you know he hasn't used his ultimate, all he's waiting for is you to just group up on him in a small area, like there in the jungle. The Skarner just continued to fight him. Amumu just kind of kited around and waited and took damage until he could press R when vital targets came into range. And that's exactly what happened. Hey, Lucian's coming to do damage to me. I'm just going to jump onto him. Or Nami's here. All right, going to jump onto them. All you do at this point, if you're a tank fighting Amumu, is you're baiting your team into coming and just engaging onto him so he gets a free ultimate. And you know the Misfortune's not in range of you, so who's going to stop her? No one, right? No one stops the Misfortune. She gets a full channel on her ultimate and kills 2 people. It's really that easy. So as of right now, Team 3 is playing into the... And Misfortune pops her Ghost Plate. She will go in and take a full culling to the face. And Lucian will turn that around quickly and wipe her off the map. I think Misfortune was kind of thinking she was a little bit stronger than she was. Lucian is a fantastic duelist. Now, not to say that Misfortune is not, but Lucian has a lot of skills to be pressing during those trades. And as Misfortune, you got Q. That's what you've got. So once it's on cooldown, you're kind of dead, especially because you took the entire culling to the face. Skarner gonna grab the Amumu. That is a bad engage, but they're gonna allow it. I would have easily just seen Syndra disengaging the team, but all right. They all just kind of stacked up, but no Scatter of the Week came in until really, really late. So, I guess I can correct myself and say, fantastic engage. They will pick up that dragon. That will be one dragon for them. A dragon that they definitely needed to get, a mountain dragon. This will actually help them for objectives when they need to go for that Baron anytime soon. Or if they do get a small advantage and they feel that they can try to exploit that. The Renekton's going to close in here. I don't think they were going to be able to catch him, but there's going to be a flash that happens. Okay, so we can tell at least that that Lucian's got it going on right now this game. Skarner's starting to, I guess, help his team, especially with that last ultimate. The Skarner's starting to help his team get things done. Lucian is very much getting kills wherever he wants, and Renekton is just kind of holding on. He's doing a good job. He stopped his feeding. His team must have been telling him, you know what, just hang out. We're gonna try and get you through this, and they're doing a great job of that. Amumu should actually be able to help get that. All right, they will dive that tower, but if Syndra, nope, Syndra cannot get the damage down. I thought she would be able to. There's a continued engage happening with that Nami wave, but I don't think they really want to take this fight. We have downed Syndra ultimate, downed Mumu ultimate, and downed Tempered Fate for Bard. On the other side, we do have Culling and Nami wave gone, so they will be able to finish off that turret and push down. They are going to increase their gold lead automatically just off of that. They will try to probably push for a second turret, but I'm seeing that there will... Oh! Syndra will take out the Nami just by throwing her balls at her. And the bullet time will come across to wrap that up. Syndra and Jace both pouring on the damage and finishing off the two sorry people standing underneath that tower. Lucian casually recalling as he gets his potions together and drinks those like a wizard. So, Lucian's walking around this map like, so I guess the black guy doesn't die in this movie. He's continuing to farm consistently. He's continuing to pick up kills where he can. That's all we can really ask for, right? Mumu's going to pick up their red buff, secure that, continue jungling. He is putting out right now a lot more pressure than the Skarner. Like I said, Amumu's skill cap is, you know, it's not high. You get into the team, which Skarner is providing him with sometimes, and then other times he's just walking into the team and pressing R. He's a strong champion. You can't mess up too often with him because he's not really that mechanical. So he's doing his job. He's applying pressure. He's getting team fights for his team. Right now, all of Team 8 are playing very, very well together around, you know, their team fight composition. And the saddest thing I think for Team 3 is that they don't have a split pusher right now. So that would be your chance. That would be your way of winning this game, unless you're going to land a pick randomly. Having that split pusher to bully out the other team's top laner or mid laner if they decided to. He will dodge a Tempered Fate. The Renekton will not get that. He will get scattered away and ulted. Unleash power all over him. Renekton will die, as I was saying before, for the 7th time. Now, folks, this is a lack of vision right here. This is a lack of vision. You took an engage. There's not enough wards on the map for you to be taking engages like that when you don't have a tower behind you. Jace going to go super hard in there. They will get a flash out of the Lucian. Lucian will cull and get over the wall. However, there will be another shock blast to come through and smash the face. Oh my god, this fight is just out of control. Amumu's going to get in with his ultimate onto the Karma, but she will not go down here. Skarner's going to try and bully 1v3. There's no one to actually help him in this fight, but he's going to try and just run away, and they will clean him up. Team 8 coming out ahead in that easily. Finally taking down the Lucian for a shutdown, taking down the Skarner again for the 5th time in this game, and now they will be able to pressure top tower. They will increase their gold lead to about 9k. So at 20 minutes, 9k, pretty good. 26 minutes, excuse me. Pretty good. I would like to point out that we have, what's the gold lead here? Gold lead in top lane is almost 3,000 gold. The gold lead in the jungle is relatively about even. You're looking at about a 500 gold lead. And then in mid lane alone, based off of those 5 extra kills and the 60 CS lead, you're looking at just over 3k, almost 3.3. Yeah, about 3.3k gold. That is almost a depth cap. Depth cap about 3,800, if I am not incorrect. That is disgusting. In bot lane, gold lead, a little smaller, about 1,000 gold. On support, it's about 1,000 gold. That's coming from just ambient damage and turret damage. Or turret gold, sorry. That was quickly disengaged. Let's see if they're going to try and posture up for this. I don't think you want to posture up for this one if you're team 3. You don't want to provide them with a way for Amumu to get into the team fight. Because whether Amumu dies or not, as long as he presses R, he's good. They're clearing out vision. They're strangle holding this game right now. They are looking to actually put them away. I don't know if they go for this Baron. I don't know if Team 3 will actually be able to challenge it, because at that point, you're just feeding into what Team 8 wants from you. Team 8 wants you to walk at them. Team 8 wants you to funnel into a small area. Team 8 wants you into to want to fight them at an objective. And at this point, if you're Team 3, I don't think you have the damage to do so. I don't think you have anyone to deal with anything in their composition. Maybe the Lucian, but that's about it. And Nami's building a Randuin's Omen. Right now, Nami honestly should have built the Mikhails with the stuns that are happening. You need to keep Lucian safe. Lucian's going to have to carry this. Karma's just going to be providing shields. That's about it. There's going to be almost no damage coming from your top laner. And in the jungle, you got Trinity Force, Cinderhulk, Skarner. So yes, he's going to do a little bit of damage, but right now, Lucian is your primary damage source. You need to be keeping him safe. Randuin is not going to do it. Especially when you have a Misfortune who's not really looking to auto attack. She's just looking to press R and kill your team. Nami's personal survivability at this point does not matter. Even a Locket, like a Locket would have been a really good pick. Not having a Locket or even an Aegis is really disrespectful. Flash, initiation onto the Lucian. Bullet time going out onto the Karma alone. Karma will get dropped down. You will have a nice ball throw. Syndra will die, but the cleanup is coming through. The Lucian is staying safe right now. He is trying to put down the Oh, no, he will not. Trying to put down the Misfortune and the Bard, but he wasn't able to do so. The Jace shows up to the party and says, nah, 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 nah. Peace, bro. Now, that was almost a sweet turnaround there. Honestly, if the Lucian stayed alive, it would have been okay. Now, Nami's position was a little off during that fight. If she had been able to survive there, had been able to wave, had been able to exhaust or flash or anything, it probably would have been a little bit different. But this is also the reason why I said if she had Mikhails, it would have been fantastic. Because at that point, they flashed onto the Lucian and, Amumu Ulted, almost solo ulted him. All you needed to do was hit Mikhail's. He's out of it. He survives the fight. No one gets to engage onto him. And Misfortune actually ulted just Karma alone. So that was your fight to win. If you were Team 3, that was your fight to win. They're not going to give you too many more of those. It's not going to happen. All right, so it looks like they are trying to get vision up for Baron here. The minions should be pushing in mid naturally. That's one of the things that's going to, inevitably happen when you have supers. And it looks like Team 8 will be trying to get a lot of Baron vision down. Team 3 just trying to get some blue trinkets in. Make sure they're not trying to sneak that Baron at any time. Right now, Bard will be, Drummond Jack will be eliminating vision for Team 3. So as of right now, they have no wards on the Baron. They do have one ward in Tri-Brush at top and one ward around the back side of the red or a side of the red. So it is currently safe if they decided to. And Jace is going to get initiated on by the Skarner. Will the Skarner be able to finish him? He did build Trinity Force, but so many minions there. And Skarner, I think, is going to die. He will. As the engage comes through, it will be stopped by Tempered Fate. And Amumu will unleash his ultimate as well with Curse of the Sad Bullet Time. They will get the drop down on the Renekton and the Nami. Syndra will go down for that as well, but Jace is by himself pushing the bottom turret, taking that inhibitor. He may get the inhibitor as well. So I'm going to say worth all the way. You sacrifice one, get two inhibs. Nothing wrong with that trade. Two inhibs down. I don't think you really come back from this at this point. Jace looking to just jump onto the Lucian, but I think this will wrap up the first game here. Team 8 is about to take this. Yes, there goes the GG. Team 8 will take down Team 3 in the first game of LANimals 2016 Fall Tournament. Okay, so there are plenty of things to talk about in that game, honestly. Really quick review here. One of the things I want to say about this is you've got a Syndra who is super far ahead right now, and excuse me, pardon me. All right, sorry about that. So you got a Syndra in this game who is, crushing the map right now, just crushing the map, and you don't have any MR. You don't have any MR on that team. The only person who decided they're going to start building MR was this chick right here. This chick right here. The only person who decided they're going to build some MR. You need to build MR. Not building MR anywhere is disrespectful to the Syndra. Okay? Secondly, Amumu does a good amount of damage just by pressing R onto the team. Not going to say you need to build a locket for him, but it's a good amount of damage. It's not bad. You having a shield for the Misfortune ultimate, for the Amumu ultimate, for the damage that the Syndra throws down, for the Jace shock blast, like all that stuff that can actually hit people in groups, you should have had a shield for that. But not having the locket is disrespectful, just first of all, to the Syndra. She does too much damage for you not to have any type of MR. And if you're looking at this, you're going, all right, Skarner, no MR. Lucian, no MR. Renekton, no MR. And it looks like he either started to build a Titanic Hydra, or he was going to build a Sterix Cage to be more tanky. So that's whatever. And then Nami building Randuin's Omen when she could have built Locket. Nami could have bailed Mikhail's. All you had to do was keep the Lucian safe, and Lucian will clean up the fight. Because it didn't look like he was ever in range to get ulted by Syndra. He was never in range to actually get hit by MF's ult most of the time. And Amumu had to flash directly onto him in order to actually pick him up. His positioning was very, very good this game. Even with the rest of the team behind or decently far behind, he was still trying to do, what he needed to do. He was trying to farm, trying to, get kills where he could, not die. That's what you do as an AD carry. You don't have to style on people. You don't have to kill everybody on the map. You don't have to dive in and kill the other AD carry. You kill what's near you. You get out. If the team locks down someone, you make sure you clean up that fight, you kill it, and you get away. And that's what he did for most of the game. He didn't die until really late into the game, actually, when the team was really far behind. Honestly, the underperformers in this game right now were the Renekton and the Skarner. The top lane just got dumpstered on most of early game all the way through. Renekton was basically a non-factor at that point. And then you're looking at Skarner, who didn't really apply much pressure at all, especially when he was going to top lane and somehow getting counter ganked by the Amumu, who was waiting in a brush. Skarner didn't really show up until like mid game, where he was getting a grab here, a grab there, with his impale. But other than that, Amumu was outshining from like level 3, where he was ganking with Bard, helping him get into the bot lane. So even though they were absorbing a lot of ganks in bot lane, they still were picking up kills onto like Nami, onto Skarner when he was down there, things like that. So one of the things that you really have to think about is team composition. How do you win the game? Where's your goal? Who's going to be the person who does the most damage? Who's going to be the key like cornerstone in this game? And Amumu was a cornerstone in this game, or the driving force in this game from level 3 up. He was where he needed to be in fights. He waited most of the time for good ultimates onto priority targets. Misfortune stayed safe most of the fights. Was able to just, honestly, you just press R, you get bullet time, you shred down most of the team. We said from Champ Select that was exactly how the composition plays. Syndra was there, able to provide stun, provide a good amount of damage on a single target to anybody, land 1-2 stuns on people in a fight. That's all you need. Plenty of CC. Jace dominated his lane. Dominated it. It wasn't remotely close. And I'm not going to say that was all him, because some of it was misplays by Renekton, but dominated his lane. And at that point, no one could deal with Jace ever. You literally had to lock him down for the entire duration of the fight in order to get a kill. And when he showed up, he could clean up anything. Like that fight at their inhibitor. He jumped in, was like, hey, I'm here, what's up? And people just died. There were 2 people still around, and no one wanted to fight after that. So good play by Team 8 overall. Good stranglehold. The only comment I could say about both teams in this game is even when you don't have an objective up where you say, you know what, we're gonna get ready for this. We're gonna get ready for Dragon. We're gonna get ready to take Baron. You still need to be warding. Wards are a really important part of the game, and you shouldn't only be warding when you're going for an objective. You should be warding all the time, because anytime you drop a ward, it's a kill that doesn't happen to your team and a kill that could possibly happen on the other team. So overall, pretty good game, pretty good start to the tournament. I'm looking forward to seeing what other kind of picks come out, whether the bans are going to happen, and just overall play of these teams, because I want to see how Team 3 comes back from this one. I think they realized, whether it's in Champ Select or in game, that like their champions didn't really work together well, and the composition was kind of So I want to see what they're going to do here. I have confidence that they have some good players on that team, and I think that these players should be trying to lead, trying to shot call, trying to organize, and form a better team composition, and think about what's strong currently with the newest patch. I think we're going to be taking a small break, and until I can get into the next game here. I can play some music for you guys, and I shall be back shortly. Thank you very much. That was the first game of the Boosted LANimals Fall 2016 tournament.